Hi, I'm Kelly. As a life coach, I've noticed that the work I do with people isn't about their relationships or their jobs. It isn't about their kids or even how to find a way to get all the laundry done. All the work we do together centers around finding the answer to one simple question. What does it mean to live a fulfilled life? Join me as I explore this question and more in conversation with others in the Fulfilling Life interviews with me, Kelly Dahl, as your host. Hello, today I'm talking with Hannah Marcotti, and we're going to be talking about fulfillment. So good morning, Hannah. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It's wonderful to have you. Why don't you start by telling the viewers a little bit about yourself and the wonderful work that you do?
Sure. My name is Hannah Marcotti, as you said. I am a life and a holistic business coach. And I just sort of dabble through my work, finding whatever it is that I'm passionate about right now in this moment, and that's what I do. So it keeps it really exciting and really fun.
And I can attest to the beauty that is in everything that you do, both from the holistic business coaching and just everything that you do really has had a profound effect on my life. So I thank you for that and encourage people to check you out some more if they haven't already. Today we're talking about fulfillment, and fulfillment is this sort of big, expansive idea. It's huge. But it's at the heart of so much of our lives, and we're seeking it all the time. So I am talking with lots of people about what it means to live a fulfilled life, and I would love to hear what you have to say for you. What does it mean to live a fulfilled life?
You know, it's so funny because these things, as life happens, right, you get the exact message you need every day. So this morning, Eli and Lucas, so Lucas is 4 and Eli is 7, and they woke up this morning and they fought and fought and fought, and I didn't sleep very much last night, and I was crabby and I was so angry, and like everything was making me mad. And all of a sudden, Eli, the 7-year-old, says to the 4-year-old, Lucas, who do you love more, yourself or Mama? And Lucas, being a 4-year-old, of course says, Mama. But Eli, who's 7, has discovered that sort of the secret to life is that you love yourself more than anybody, and then you're able to love everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I, in my crabbiness, I had to like enter this amazing conversation, but I had to stop him from trying to convince his 4-year-old brother that he should love himself more than he loves his mama right now, because at 4, you can only love your mama the most, you know? Right. You can only love the person who's taking care of you the most. It hit me so profoundly that every single day, every single age that I, enter in next, I get a new answer to that question. It changes and changes and changes, and maybe that itself is sort of the answer, is that if we, I really love change, if we can embrace that and really step into where we're called next, what we're called to do, where we're meant to be seen, who we're meant to be with, I think, to me, that's as close as I can get to defining such a huge, big thing, right? Based on this little conversation that the kids were having.
Yeah, and so interesting too, the different takes on it from a child's perspective, and moving in. I know in your work and the work I do is a lot of helping women who are adults realize they need to love themselves first, and I'm just so struck by your son, probably as a result of living in your house, right? Yeah. You can't discount that, but that he gets it already that it's about him first.
Yeah. And really, because he did a lot of struggling with how do you choose? Do you love your mom or your dad more? How come I don't have a favorite person that I love the most? And so we've talked a lot about how you love people differently,
Yeah.
and loving yourself is a whole different. It's your access into loving everyone else, and
Yeah. Oh, that's
but
beautiful.
that's growth. That's growing. That's growing up.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't. I think we're born with all these little sparkles and tickles of all the things that we grow into, you know. And then over time, they like hide. They find little hiding places in our bodies, and we feel them through knots in our shoulder or jaw clenching or whatever. But I really think that's where these little things, these little magical things that we were born with, are hiding. And our fulfillment. Like I would say, I feel it in my belly. I
Mm.
feel it in my belly, you
Mhm.
know. And my absolute biggest journey this last year was sort of falling in love with my body, meaning my belly to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
and that was a huge path to part of my fulfillment, was being able to just be okay with it
Mm.
and embrace it and love it, and um, that's really fulfilling.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a beautiful process, and it's a lifelong journey too, from 4 to 7 to 38 and beyond, and the way that it opens up more and more with every experience in every year. So what kinds of things do you do in your life so that you get that fulfilled feeling, and so that you're listening to your belly instead of um, racing thoughts in your mind or whatever else, so that you're moving towards fulfillment?
Yeah, I struggle with that. I really struggle with that. I always think it's funny that people think that one of the things that I'm really good at is self-care, because I'm not. I'm horrible at it. Um, but I see its importance, and I see
Mm.
that it's vital to keeping us ticking and moving and loving, and so it doesn't mean I'm good at it, but I embrace it in all of its beauty. Um, for me, gosh, trying to be in the moment, trying to be here with you now, not somewhere else in my head, not ticking off my to-do list, not
Mm.
worried about, the messy house or anything like that. To me, that is a huge part of moving towards fulfillment, and following my passion. Listening to when I get those little flutters inside, and the sort of the bigger voices that I feel like I'm uh, not to sound woo woo, but channeling in.
Right.
I believe that for me, fulfillment is when I sit down and I write, and
Mm.
I have no idea what I'm going to say. Clueless. Nothing. Nada. And I just trust in the process, and something bigger comes.
Mm-hmm.
And God, that is that is one of the most close encounters I have with fulfillment, when I can be there, when I can be here, when I can be following the little whispers, that
Yeah.
are in my heart.
And I hear you talking about that process of loving yourself so that you can receive all of that and
Yeah.
be open to all of that in your life,
Yeah.
because you can't hear those voices or those whispers or the pull or however you name it, when you're not loving yourself and knowing yourself and allowing yourself to
Yeah.
know yourself.
We do a lot of shutdown. We do a lot of shutting down. We do a lot of numbing. My favorite is chocolate. I love chocolate, and I think it can be an amazing self-care tool.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know how easily I can use it to substitute as lunch. And that is when I'm using it to numb, to create a feeling inside that I want, that I'm not getting somewhere else.
Yes.
That little lovely rush that chocolate can give you.
Right.
It's all those things, and we all have our tools for numbing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when we can trust so deeply that there is something more than a chocolate bar for lunch that's in our life. When we can trust it, and like stepping into vulnerability, I think, getting this fulfillment.
Definitely. I think that vulnerability piece is a big part of it, because it's asking for fulfillment. It's a big, big thing to ask for.
And to feel like you are deserving of
Yeah.
it. Like, whoa, like, why me, you know? Why me?
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and we were talking about this role as the nurturer, and how hard it is, even though we are so good at nurturing. I have 3 kids, you know, like I'm really good at this. I have hundreds of women that I nurture, and I struggle to nurture myself. You know, I'm just now getting regular haircuts, and I love it, but I never allowed myself such a thing before, and it feels incredible. And that's such a little thing, but it's such a huge, big thing. Like, I love my bangs. I can keep cutting them and loving them, you know?
Right.
Those little things.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, since I used to be a long hair person, and I never got regular haircuts, and now that maybe that you've pointed out, for me, another piece that I love about having short hair is I have to get regular haircuts or it gets crazy. And so it is every 6 weeks I get that piece, that half an hour that's about me taking care of my hair, and it's beautiful.
And just sinking into that chair, and I have a woman who does my hair who's not a mom, and she'll always say, "Are you okay? Do you need a magazine? What can I get you?" And I'm like, nothing.
Or they'll apologize for making you wait a minute. It's like, take your time. I'm okay.
I'm so sorry this took an hour and a half today. And I'm like, oh my God. Thank you. Yeah.
Most definitely. So in asking you the ways that you do find fulfillment in your life, you brought up a lot of the obstacles that get in your way. So I'm wondering about that too. What are the things that get in your way, and how do you then get past those bumps in the road?
Yeah. I think they are part of this beautiful journey we're on. I think that we have to go up and down, up and down, up and down. The best example I have of this is when I am somewhere in my cycle. I don't know, like a really good part, the first 2 weeks right, after I've had my period. Very honest here. I am doing like so well. And I'm thinking, I haven't gotten in a fight. I'm not yelling. I haven't been sick. Like, I feel really good. And I start to question it, and I start to get a little like, what's going on? Or is this how it's always going to be? Am I always going to feel like this now? Like, why am I so settled? Why am I so happy? Why am I, you know, like, and I go into the boom, boom, boom. And as soon as I go into the boom, 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 I get sick. Or I hit crabby phase, or I get in a fight. And it's this calling forth. It's a calling forth of, okay, I've been doing this, and now I'm ready to dip a little bit. I'm ready to go somewhere else. And some of the easiest ways we know how to do that is just to kind of pull in whatever sabotage we know. I know how to get in fights really well. I know how to, I know exactly what I need to do to get there. I never get sick until the day I say, wow, I haven't been sick in a really long time. I almost always will get sick 3 days later, and I can go for months and months and months. I can have, my kids can be sick as anything, and I don't get it until the day I question why I'm so healthy.
Yeah.
You know? And that to me is fascinating, and I have just come to accept this as part of my process, part of our process, that we're just not always going to be perfectly joyful, fulfilled, you know, all of it. We're always going to be seeking and searching some new level, some next thing. And often, the quote, I can't remember who says it, I write it all the time, maybe it's Buddha quote, but that chaos, maybe it's Deepak, chaos always precedes change. So I think that we just call it forth. You know, when we are ready for change, we just like, boom, boom, we are so good at manifesting. We just usually do it in the opposite way. And, you know, I haven't been sick in a while, and things are feeling too good, so I'm going to get sick and then be there for a little bit.
Yeah. And I think when you come back up, you're at a different place,
You're
which is a beautiful part of the process too. And one thing that I'm learning a lot is when those dips happen, it's just part of life, and it doesn't mean everything else has to stop. It doesn't mean that it's time to fall into, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and it's
amazing. Some when you start to get a little bit more familiar with the online world, and or even make some people will be kind of open about this, but maybe you know people who are telling you personally. But what I have found is that some of the most creative, beautiful, amazing things have happened as a result of someone dipping into crisis, into chaos, into a place where it's really scary and unfamiliar.
mm-hmm.
And the response can be, oh, woe is me, and dig deeper. But for so many of us who believe that we are here for something so much greater,
mm-hmm.
we call on what that is. So yeah, talk about fulfillment. Like I can do that myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need anybody to do that for me. And I still learning that one, but yeah.
But I see the still learning as part of the fulfillment too, right? Because that being open to that, you're on that path towards finding even more fulfillment and finding new ways and having new challenges every day.
I can't imagine it ever being gone. I can't imagine that ever stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it won't, right?
I don't think so. I really don't. I really believe, you hear spiritual leaders talk, but I still believe that, they may be like evolved up to here, but I still think there's so much that they are learning. There's still so much that they're learning and drawing into their own experience. And by teaching, it simply proves that they're continuing on their journey. Because everything you teach, you need to learn.
Yeah.
Always.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
This has been so wonderful, Hannah. You've opened my eyes to different layers of fulfillment, and I'm loving these conversations so much because it's like that onion metaphor, right? We're peeling back layers and layers and layers and getting to a deeper, richer understanding of fulfillment and ourselves by talking about it. So thank you so much for being here. Can you tell everybody one more time where they can find you, and I'll include links or anything that you want to share with people that you'll be up to?
Absolutely. So my website is hannahmarcotti.com. I love to hang out on Facebook, as you know. It's sort of my it's my water cooler. It's my special place. I find the most supportive community there. That's where I try to dig deep and get real. And so many things going to happen in the new year. And the most amazing thing is I'm taking January off, and I won't have a program in January, which is like, whoa, craziness for me. So I'm actually practicing a little bit of self-care in that way, where I'm using January to really regenerate, which is lovely. And then starting in February, it's all just going to be fast and furious and beautiful and lovely.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to seeing everything, and I look forward to hearing about how not having programs in January opens you up to new things too. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Hannah, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.